My name is Stenger from the Citizen Energy Cooperative Südwestpfalz, Saarpfalz, based in Homburg, Pirmasens and Zweibrücken, which are 3 small towns in the southwest of Germany, close to the French border. Today, Stefan and me will tell you the story of how we started to manage our energy community and how we mobilize people to join it. My function in the cooperative is that I am a member of the supervisory board.
Hello, my name is Stefan Paul. I am one of 3 managing directors of the Citizen Energy Cooperative Südwestpfalz Saarpfalz. Together with Ina and with 18 other persons, we have founded our new cooperative in December 2021, some months ago. We started with 20 persons and in the meantime 20 more people joined the cooperative. And since we are connected to many other people that share our ideas and our goals, we are sure and very optimistic to find at least further 20 more members within the next 2 months.
Our main goal is to play an active role in the energy transition, the transition to a renewable energy supply. With our collaborative, we offer to the citizens of our region the opportunity to participate in the building of renewable energy facilities. This participation has 2 building blocks. First building block is the option to invest money and become an owner of renewable energy installations in our region. The second building block is to work with us, meaning to become a part of the operative team of our cooperative. Let me give you some examples. People can help us in finding new customers, for example, companies or organizations that own rooftops which we could rent to build a photovoltaic system. And then we would resell the power or electricity generated by the system to these customers. Also, people can help us with any kind of work that has to be done within our cooperative, for example, the website design and maintenance, support of the member administration, or help with the organization of events. Regarding our goals, we would like to differentiate between short-term goals and long-term goals. The following short-term goals are all scheduled for 2022. A very concrete short-term goal is that we plan to finance, build and operate at least 2 big photovoltaic systems on rooftops until the end of the year. Besides that, we will start our public relation work to promote the renewable energies in our region. We are now working on the design of our website that will contain lots of information, question and answer pages, etc. for both our members and our customers. We will also get in contact with the local newspapers and we plan to organize events to inform about the benefits of photovoltaic and other renewable energy options. In addition to getting started with PV installations and public relations work, we will analyze further business areas. Just 2 examples from our list. We will analyze the option to invest in ground-mounted PV plants and in wind power plants. And we will investigate if there is a profitable option to set up an e-car sharing in our towns. Last but not least, we want to grow. We started with 20 persons, we are now about 40 persons, and by the end of the year, we want to have at least 60 members in our cooperative. Our long-term goal is that we want to grow even further. We hope to have about 500 cooperative members in 5 years from now, and we plan to get engaged in many different areas of renewable energies and alternative mobility concepts.
We try to do this and work with many people together, not just alone, not just in a small company, but with a big cooperative. Why do we do that? We try to convince as many people as possible to join the cooperative because we think the more people we are, the more people we have to support each other, to learn from each other, and if problems come up, to help each other. And with lots of members, there will be also lots of discussions and conversation in the families and friends of the people that are part of our organization. And by that we will become known to many other people, to new people that may get in contact with us, become new members, become customers, partners or supporters. And last but not least, of course, it is much more fun to work together in this than to work alone. And there is one more and very important point why we try to grow and try to get connected to many people. I guess it is very important to consider that the energy transition is a change of habits. And changes and transitions are always complicated, they are always challenging. The energy transition is no exception from this rule. And only if as many people as possible participate and also benefit from the energy transition, there is the chance that it will be successful.
We think that a cooperative is the ideal legal form for us. The reasons are: first, a cooperative is a legal form that encourages its members to contribute to the organization and to share responsibilities. Second, in a cooperative, all members have equal voting rights, independent of the money they have invested. And finally, the liability for the members is limited. In our case, based on our constitution, it is limited to the money they have invested. Stefan will tell you where we got the help we needed to start.
Yeah, I did participate in an online course for the founding of cooperatives. This was organized by the association Netzwerk Energiewende Jetzt. This was very helpful because in this course I have been guided step by step through the whole process that you have to follow to found a cooperative.
My motivation, since I am a mother and an elementary school teacher, is that I primarily feel a strong responsibility towards the children that will live in the future that my generation and the ones before have created and still continue to do so. Also, I feel a responsibility towards people that either have no access to information about the urgency of climate protection or that do not have the privileges of achieve safety or health and therefore have no chance to contribute to protecting the environment and climate. I've already founded a few climate protection projects in my town, such as an urban community garden and food sharing, but let's face the truth. If we want to stop climate change and create a future that is worth living, we must make the energy revolution happen. We have to stop using fossil energy sources ASAP and invest into renewable energy projects as much as possible. Citizen energy cooperatives are the point where each individual can contribute to the energy transition without having to rely on authorities such as politicians or big energy corporations. This is where me and you can be part of the energy revolution. Stefan, what motivated you to do this?
Yeah, 3 years ago, in 2019, I was part of a group of people that founded a climate protection initiative, ZW Vernetzt, Zweibrücken Vernetzt, in our hometown in Zweibrücken. We started with 13 persons in the back room of an Italian restaurant discussing about how we could contribute to climate protection with concrete actions in our town. And from the very beginning, the focus was on acting, not just on talking. Meanwhile, we have achieved a lot with this organization. We have organized events to build green spots, more green spots in our city. We have planted lots of trees. We worked on renaturations of gravel gardens. We have promoted a reusable system for takeaway food and much, much more. And since actions speak louder than words, this initiative became bigger and bigger. More and more people joined, and we have managed to connect to other organizations that share our goals. Nature Reserve Organization, the Friday for Future group, the planting projects, for example, some initiated by the Red Cross organization in our town, the local food sharing and urban gardening initiatives where, for example, INA plays an important and a leading role, and much more. But to come back to the energy cooperative, from the very beginning of this Zweibrücken Vernetzt initiative, it was clear that we also want to start a citizen energy cooperative. So far, we did not have such an organization in our region. This means that we can now fill the white spot on the map of citizen energy cooperatives in the Südwestpfalz and Saarpfalz. And while our climate protection initiative is located in one town only, in Zweibrücken, the energy cooperative is active in the whole region that contains also the neighboring towns Pirmasens and Homburg.
The starting point of our search for further members for the cooperative were our families and friends. In addition to that, we have a lot of contacts within the climate protection initiative ZW Vernetzt that Stefan has already mentioned. And we are now on the way to create an informative website where you can learn about our team and our motivation and about the different ways that interested people in our cooperative can join us and participate. Furthermore, we use the local radio and newspapers to catch people's attention for our project, and we as well plan to create social media accounts. We learned from the public relation work for the climate protection initiative ZW Vernetzt that with a good website you can present yourself and your motivation, and you can list your projects and initiatives. We are certain that a website is super important for professional appearance. It functions as something like a letter of application, a curriculum vitae that you can write to your future members and to potential customers of your cooperative.
Yes, and as we mentioned before, we now have about 40 members in our cooperative, and many of them do not just support us with their money, they also help us in finding new customers, and they help us in administration work and in finding new options for the cooperative. But to be honest, to be able to address all the topics and business areas that we have on our list, we need more people. We need more people to help us, support us wherever possible. So we keep on searching additional members and supporters.
We want to address all people, no matter what gender, age, origin, information status, time capacity, and so on.
There are several business areas you can work on in the area of renewable energy. We will start with photovoltaic installations first. Photovoltaic is our main focus within the renewable energies due to several reasons. First, regarding to climate protection, photovoltaic is a perfect solution. With a PV installation, you have a very simple equation. The input is the sun, which is for free, and the output is the electric power. Second, there is a broad public acceptance for this technology. Third, compared to, for example, wind turbines, the investment for photovoltaic is much smaller, which is an important point for especially a new and young cooperative like our cooperative. 4, the project timelines are shorter compared to, for example, wind turbine project. It is possible to install a new PV system within some months. So the timeline between the first idea and the production of electricity with the PV system is sometimes only a few months. And number 5 is that with a PV installation you have a huge variety of applications and combination options, and also a lot of business model you can choose from. And therefore the option to find always a tailor-made solution for each customer. Let me give you some examples. You can install a PV system on a company rooftop, on a government building, on a private household, or on a parking lot. And you can combine PV systems with, for example, e-charging stations, car park roofs, green roofs, etc. And there is a large variety of business model options. You can, for example, lease your PV facility to the customer. You can operate it and then sell the power to the owner of the building. In houses with several apartments, you can sell the power to the people that rent these apartments. But there are not just chances, there are also some risks, and Ina says something about that now.
The biggest risk is that the general conditions under which photovoltaic projects are implemented are not stable. So laws are changing a lot in this area, at least in Germany. The prices to implement a PV system are not stable as well and have been increasing recently. And finally, you may have to wait for the implementation of a new PV system for a long time because resources may be lacking, or the solar company that you have chosen for the implementation has full order books, and therefore may be a time delay of some months between the order and the implementation of the new system.
Not every photovoltaic project is suitable for our young new cooperative. Our main focus at the beginning is now on big rooftops where we can install big PV systems with a power of at least 30, 40, 50 or maybe 100 or more kilowatt peak. Reason is that the effort for such a PV project is more or less independent from the size of the PV system. But the financial benefits are normally much bigger on both sides, our side and the customer side, for big PV systems compared to small ones. Regarding to potential customers, there are some categories of customers and project scenarios that are more suitable for us than others. PV systems that are especially profitable in case of customers with a large self-consumption of electricity. Second point is the probability of being able to implement a project successfully increases as soon as you get the chance to present your project approach and proposal to the boss of the company. This situation is much more complicated if you address bigger companies where you do not have the chance to talk immediately to the decision makers. And third point, the probability of being able to implement profitable PV projects also increases a lot in the case of the construction of new buildings or in the case of renovation of old buildings. In both cases, there are some synergies you can use. Since, for example, you do not have to pay for the scaffolding, it's already there, and you can make use of that and the project will be more profitable.
The money for our projects comes from 3 sources. The first one is the membership fee. The minimum fee is €200, but our members are free to invest multiple of that amount. We do not plan to pay a dividend for the membership fees in the first years, but we hope that after 3 to 5 years we can start to pay 1, 2 or maybe 3% as dividend. The second component are financing packages that consist of 2 parts. It's 20% membership fees, where again we do not plan to pay a dividend for the first years, and the other part is 80% subordinated loans, for which we will pay an interest rate. These financing packages are linked to projects, meaning whenever we start a new project, there is the option to invest via these financing packages. And for each project, we will calculate the interest rate. So this can differ from one project to another. Finally, the third option is to go to a bank and ask for a loan.
We have a lot of partners that support us, and we are supported by many people and organizations within the Citizen Energy Cooperative Network in Germany. For example, the Energiewende Jetzt Netzwerk I just mentioned before. This is an association. We have contact to the Network Association of Citizen Energy Cooperatives in Rheinland-Pfalz called LANEC. In German, this is the Landesnetzwerk Bürger-Energiegenossenschaft in Rheinland-Pfalz. And also very important for us is the contact to other citizen energy cooperatives. For example, we are in close contact with the Bürger-Energiegenossenschaft, a very active and innovative cooperative located in Heidelberg that was founded by students from the University of Heidelberg about 10 years ago. We are in close contact with the Nordpfalz Energie. This is a young cooperative like our cooperative, founded about a year ago north of Kaiserslautern. And we are in contact with the Kraichgau Bürger-Energiegenossenschaft located in Baden-Württemberg. And the good thing about this is that we are never experiencing these other cooperatives as competitors. There is always a spirit of partnership, and this is very helpful because we help each other, support each other, and come to a good solution in the end for the whole community of citizen energy cooperatives in Germany. We are very glad about what we achieved so far, but we must admit that we were not as fast as we had hoped to be with the founding of the cooperative. The reason is that this founding process, like every process with lots of people involved, has its ups and downs. Let me give you some examples. We started with the founding process mid of 2020 with regular team meetings. We met about once or twice each month. But all team members, they have full-time jobs, they have a family, and nobody gets paid for this work. Therefore, it was not surprising that from the 8 to 9 team members, every now and then only 5, 6 or 7 showed up in the meetings. I remember especially one meeting we had last summer where besides me only one person, a very good friend of mine, showed up. This was really a little bit frustrating. Yeah, we had to postpone our agenda topics to the next meeting. In the end, we made the best out of it. We took the chance to chat a little bit because we hadn't talked for a while. And in the next meeting, again, all members did participate and we could go ahead. So don't get me wrong, I'm super happy about every single member of our team and about every single meeting we had, because this always brought us further. But you have to say also, if you want to go now through a similar process, and if you think about founding a cooperative as well, you should know that things like that can happen. Please do it anyway. But be aware that this process has its ups and downs, and you have to keep on with your enthusiasm, and even if difficulties come up, go ahead. There's another problem we had and still have. There are always lots of projects, opportunities. People tell you about potential projects, about rooftops that may fit for a PV system. But in the end, only few of these opportunities lead to a real installation of a PV system. So also here you have to be patient, you have to keep on trying, and you have to keep your enthusiasm through the whole process.
But besides these challenging parts, we made a lot of positive experiences. We were lucky to have people in our team that share our enthusiasm and that keep on supporting us. And we are very glad that we have become a part of the Citizen Energy Collaborative network in Germany and Europe. This is a strong network with lots of people that share our goals, and they help each other in many ways, for example by sharing information and giving good advices to newcomers like us.
Our new cooperative just started some months ago, and we cannot guarantee that we will be successful with all the topics we have on our list. But we are in this with all our hearts, and we are very glad that we have met so many people, and so many people join the cooperative and participate in the energy transition in our region. People in the founding team, people that became members of the cooperative, and also especially those people that now agreed to take over an active role in our organization, for example in the management, in the administration, or as a member of the supervisory board. We are very optimistic regarding the future of the Citizen Energy Cooperative Südwestpfalz Saarpfalz, and we are sure that we can make our contribution to the energy transition and to a better future for us and for the next generations.
Each and every one of us is fully responsible for our planet's future. One is free to decide on either being part of the problem or part of the solution. By watching this video, you have already shown that you are the latter. Now please don't be scared of topics of which you have no expert knowledge. Just dive in, don't be afraid of making mistakes, and watch your growth. Today, there are so many ways to learn from other citizen energy cooperatives. Connecting with these and other open-minded people and taking this adventurous trip together will probably make it one of the most meaningful and fulfilling journeys of your life.
We received a lot of support from other people and other organizations. Therefore, we would be glad if we can help you. If you are going through the same process that we just did now, and if you are on the way to found a new cooperative, and if after watching this video you think that we can help you, feel free to contact us. We would be happy to help.